Okay, it's August 3rd, 2024. I'm with Section 2 for the day, reading with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, and we're reading about his hospital stay in Paris after being wounded at the Battle of the Bulge. This is still Chapter 13, and it's page 367. Keep in mind, there's about 900 pages to his book.
Did you see that telegram they sent my mother?
Tell me about it.
It said this is regular telegram.
Western Union.
It said to Mrs. Jeckovich, well, this is informed that your son, Private First Class John Jeckovich, was wounded in action. He's in the hospital. He's doing comfortably well. We'll keep you we'll keep you informed. Thank you. On a telegram.
Yeah, Western Union.
Yeah.
Did they keep her informed?
Well, then I had access to talk to my mother and father privately too, because I just go down the PX, use the phone there.
You were able to call the United States?
Yeah. But there was limited, 3 minutes.
Well, did you actually talk to your mother?
Yeah.
How'd she sound?
Well, she said, "Oh, where are you at? Are you home? Where are you at? When you coming home?" She said, "We missed you. We got all that stuff we got to do."
Wait a minute. You're in a hospital recuperating from a sniper wound and shrapnel, and your mother's basically saying, "We got a lot of work."
I got a lot of stuff left backed up that hasn't been done. Yeah, that was routine. That was routine.
Wow. That's hard to take.
They didn't do it for Looky or Stevie.
What did they do for him?
Looky was never around. Stevie was in school all the time. No, he was in California.
California. Wow. That's amazing.
Actually, they didn't have much interest in them.
Really? So your mother, when you got a hold of her from the hospital, she basically wished you well and said, "We got a lot of work to do here, so
Yeah.
when you coming?"
Yeah.
Okay.
When you coming, right? When you coming?
We'll be here at least 2 weeks and no longer than 3 weeks, barring some unforeseen medical circumstance. After our stay here, we will be transferred to a redeployment center and eventually rejoin our respective units. He went on to say that we would revert to garrison status while here, i.e. bunk beds, policing the area, adhering to military courtesy, and all the above, complying with directives. There would be no duty roster, no any type of duty of any kind. Sick call if needed would be around 800 hours.
Short arm inspection.
What's that?
Short arm.
Okay.
You go outside bare ass, put your raincoat on, and stand in the line.
Why'd you have to do that?
Huh?
What was that about?
Pull it out, piss it out, and that's it. See if you got a BD.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. The only formation should be Reveille at 700 hours. Passing would be issued each day starting at 1200 hours. Tomorrow and sign-in time would be 0100 hours. I thought that was great. It fit exactly into my plans, and I had told Renee yesterday. So even though you're 30 miles away from Paris, you're still got a little bit of passes, time in between.
Oh yeah,
where
you get an overnight. You get an overnight pass, a weekend pass. Yeah.
Oh, did you get overnight passes there?
Well, I got it at 4 o'clock. You had to be back at 3. Got to be back at 0500 roll call tomorrow morning.
Wow, that was great. Bunk beds policing the area. There would be no duty roster, no type of duty of any type. I thought that was great. It fit exactly into my plans, what I told Renee yesterday. We would settle in today, get squared away with our sleeping quarters, and then get acquainted with their new home for the next several weeks. I was situated in a large barracks-like room with 30 other ex-patients. Some were already here, and others like myself who had just arrived. Like every aspect of Army life, this was the same. People would be coming and going. people will be coming and going.
Well, I told you about patent visits, I think
What's that?
patent visiting us in the hospital.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and that one guy started crying. He said, I'm sick. I gotta go home. I'm nervous." And the patent pulled out. "I'll kill that son of a bitch right here." And they grabbed him and pulled him out. Pulled
You
patent out.
witnessed that?
Yeah.
Wow. And then what happened then?
Well, the kid was the kid was there for. He wasn't wounded or anything. Just emotionally, he's shot.
You shot emotionally.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Did Patton have a problem for acting that way?
What?
Did Patton get in trouble for acting?
No, they knew Patton. They knew Patton.
Okay.
They called Patton. He said, "What that son of a bitch gonna cross that river? I couldn't find a shallow spot. He's over there already."
Who was he talking about?
Talking about Patton. The CEO was talking. Some major was talking. "What the hell that son of a bitch go over there?"
No kidding. Wow.
A lot of swearing going on.
Did you run into Patton in a barn in the middle of the night?
Yeah, in the middle of the night. Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, Jeep that posted camouflaged the Jeep and trailer very good, and Patton picked it up. 3 o'clock in the morning, we're heading out there. He picked us up in the barn. He said, "What are you guys doing here? Get your ass out of here. Get going. get up to the next checkpoint."
Oh, boy.
Said, "I get my ass wet. You're gonna get your ass wet too."
When you seen Patton in the Jeep, did he have a large staff with him of other soldiers?
No, he had a Jeep with the 3 stars on the front and him and the driver.
A driver?
He had no guards or nothing.
I'll be damned. Wow. He looked very old during World War II. He was in World War I, but I think the wars took a toll on him physically because he was only in his 50s.
What?
During World War II, Patton was only in his 50s, and he looked much older.
Yeah.
I think the wars took a toll on him physically.
Oh, Patton.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They took
Well, he's right in there. He wasn't like Eisenhower or some of those other bureaus and all sorts.
Yeah, it was interesting during the December of 1944, many of the generals, the top brass, thought the war in Europe was winding down. So for example, some of the generals went to their friend's wedding. Another, the top brass, went to have to a gunsmith to have some fancy shotguns made.
Yeah, I remember. I told you about he had to apologize to the nurses and the staff at the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then some of the other top brass, the generals, went golfing. And Patton was the only one that didn't believe the war was winding down in December of 1944. In fact, Patton said, "Hey, my birthday's coming up, which is Christmas Day, and what better time to kill a bunch of Germans?"
Yeah.
And that was his attitude. He wasn't going to no wedding or getting new guns made or going golfing. He was a good fighter. He was a good fighter.
Good soldier.
Good soldier.
Yeah.
Okay. The rooms themselves were pretty much the same, with the exception of several that were more elegant in furnishings and decor. These were singled out for administrative command purposes only. The particular room was light and airy and was heated by the central heat, as were most hospitals and large administrative buildings in France. The entire complex had the trappings and feel of a large hotel rather than a hospital. To be sure, there was a medical staff about, but most of the doctors and nurses were in regular Army uniforms, with none of the white starch uniforms so prevalent in the last several hospitals I've been in. The entire atmosphere was informal and friendly and gave one the impression that he was on furlough in some large R&R facility. After a reveille and breakfast the next morning, I was looking forward to seeing Renee again. While we're waiting for the time our passes would be issued, I studied the city guide of Paris issued to us. I would take a metro from here to Paris. Where did you pick up the metro at?
They had a metro station in the camp.
Oh, okay. Was it a big bus or small buses?
Small buses.
I would pick up the metro here at camp, boarding a train from Station 4 into Paris. So this metro took you to the train station.
Yeah, then you took the train.
And then the train station number 4.
Then you had to get a cab to go where you wanted to go.
From there, it was suggested I take a taxi to my final destination.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of different legs to
Yeah.
get to this lady, Renee. Wow. And you had to be back at a certain time?
Oh, 500.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word. A little after 1,200 hours, I left the hospital confines and walked several blocks to the metro station. Upon arriving there, I went up to one of the several ticket windows and asked for a boarding ticket to station number 4. Catra, holding up 4 figures, not trusting my French. Okay, the female ticket agent quickly understood and gave me my ticket. I blurted out "See," in my worst French imaginable, and the agent smiled in bewilderment. I repeated the "See," but much slower this time, and she understood with a big smile. "Non, non," she repeated. I looked at her in wonderment, and she was completely dumbfounded at what she was attempting to convey to me. Finally, in desperation, she pointed to my uniform and kept on repeating, "Non, non." Why would she point to your uniform at this bus station
Yeah.
and say, "Non, non"? What does that mean?
To somebody else?
You said the lady gave you the ticket at the bus station or train station.
No, was no charge.
Oh, okay.
No,
Because you're in uniform.
no.
Because you're in uniform.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I finally got a descriptive message. People in uniform riding the metro free. I was thankful and exclaimed, "Merci, merci." The train left the station shortly thereafter in 20 minutes. It was the metro station 44, distinguished by its illuminated large orange circular sign bearing the line terminals. Illuminated blue sign marked the sort of station exit. I got a taxi at the station exit and directed the driver to 5 Rue St. Andres, hoping he would understand me. To my surprise, he spoke rather good English and replied, "Sure, Joe, toot sweet." Toot sweet.
Too sweet. That was a big word. Too sweet.
Yeah. In no time, I was in front of Renee's house once again. I paid the driver plus a small tip and aligned the taxi. I became a little apprehensive coming unannounced so early in the day. Before I reached the large oaken door, Renee thrust it open, shouted "Bonjour, bonjour," threw her arms around me and started kissing me. The fragrance of her body enraptured me and felt I was a welcome friend returning home. She had a short sleeve pullover knit wool sweater and a pair of tan slacks. Her hair was flounced about in a disheveled manner, and there were smudges of various colors of paint on her sweater and slacks. I noticed her hands were spotted with paint, and she had an air of complete unconcern regarding her appearance. I thought she was captivating and elegant, her radiance and charm penetrating through no matter how she was attired. "I'm painting right now," she said, taking my hand and leading me up to the second-floor studio. Upon entering the large room, I saw a young girl, about 10 or 11, sitting in front of the easel, with her tiny hands folded on her lap. I noticed another older person, probably the mother, sitting close by. The canvas was partially completed. It looked very professional, with a true likeness of the young girl. I said I was sorry to be intruding and that I'd come back later. Renee understood my reluctance, but would have none of it. She told me to look around the studio, that she would be finished in a very short while. As I walked about, the portraits and the paintings of the German military caught my attention again. Here was several of the 5th Parachute Division through their blue tunics under their white camouflage coveralls. It brought me back to memories of Wilson Fink. There were several excellent paintings of the Schützenwagens, armored half-tracks, with their portable flamethrowers mounted on them. Did you run across of any of these half-tracks with portable flamethrowers?
Yeah.
Were any
In the field? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Were any of the flamethrowers
Oh, yeah. Flamethrower could shoot 50 feet.
Were any of the flamethrowers pointed in your direction?
Most of in Japan.
Okay.
Because the Japanese go in the tunnels and they, GIs would stick the flamethrower in the tunnel and just gas the hell out of them, burn the hell out of them.
Wow. Portable flamethrowers mounted on them, including many paintings of panzers and tigers, both I-4s and 5s. There were also individual portraits of soldiers of the 2nd Panzer Divisions, both officers and enlisted men. Also, many and varied paintings of Wehrmacht standing in the front of the Eiffel Tower and other tourist spots. Isn't it amazing the Eiffel Tower wasn't bombed?
Yeah. Church wasn't bombed. A lot of churches weren't bombed.
Hard to understand.
Uh,
They were excellent paintings, lifelike, and truly a worthwhile collection. Even though I admired their quality and authenticity, I felt a pang of resentment and irritability at them being there, and even more that Renee had painted them. I believe the Germans were a common enemy, and that they deserved harsher treatment than was being displayed here. Renee said goodbye to her sitter and her mother. Turning towards me, she smiled and said, "I knew you were coming today," all the while gesturing and mouthing her words with her lips to make it more understandable to me. The movement of her lips was sensuous, and once again, it was under her bewitching charm. Minutes?
12.
I smiled, took her hand, and noted the paint accumulated under her lovely nails. She was still rapturous. I thought no matter how much paint was on her or how she jumbled her appearance, she brought my hand up to her lips, kissed it gently, and murmured softly that she would change and then we'd go get some lunch. Where'd you go get some lunch at?
what?
After she got changed, where did you go for lunch at?
In the city?
Yeah.
Some
Where'd you
little
go?
cafeteria.
What?
Some little cafe.
Was it nice?
Well, it was clean. At least it was clean. The other one we went to, we went in and they shut it down.
No kidding. I smiled, took her hand. She would change and we'd go get some lunch. As I waited for her in the parlor, the paintings of all the Germans still lingered in my mind, and it bothered me immensely. I wanted to confront Renee with my perturbed attitude on these, and I'm sure she would have a plausible and well-founded reason for painting the many portraits I saw throughout the room. She thought in short order with all the paint and removed and looking enchanting. She had changed into a short black skirt, and it was cool outside, and was wearing a heavy type sweater jacket with a large collar, which emphasized her vivacious figure. Her hair was swept back into a bun, and I marveled how she could attain such a transformation in such a short period of time. She said it would be only a short walk from here to Rue Street, where there were many restaurants to choose from. As we walked, she took my arm and held it tightly by her side, lacing her fingers into mine. She smiled as I pressed her fingers tightly against mine. She said something in French which I did not understand, and she would not tell me. We arrived at a quaint and cozy place called La Combe, and we sat at a small circular table. A white-aproned waiter scribbled our order onto a paper tablecloth and returned almost immediately with what Renee had ordered. Renee had ordered plats du jour, plates of the day, which consisted of steak in chitterling sauces, served with French fries and a carafe of vin du Botron house wine. It was all very delicious, and I complimented Renee on her selection of the place to eat. As we sat drinking our second carafe of wine, I told Renee about Etampes and how long I'd be there. She listened attentively, fingering her wine glass and sipping it occasionally. I also stated that my pass was good until after midnight, and she was pleased, saying that she would not have to rush back anymore. She pressed my hand and explained, "Let's go dancing at one of the bistros." I nodded in agreement, aware of my dancing ability. As she spoke, I noted how much better her English was and how she understood what I said. It was only when I spoke rapidly, which I had a bad habit of doing, that she became frustrated when she did not understand. We sat here, and then I listened to tell her all the plans of the next several weeks. I was completely engrossed with the conversation and the movement of her lips and her facial expressions. Her sensual hands would move into direct relationship to her mouth and lips, and it was fascinating and seductive to watch and be part of her little world. It was fortunate, for she relieved the tension that had built up inside of me from the loss of Leip and others, my feeling of responsibility for their deaths. It just occurred to me I had not thought of Leip and Fink and the others for the past few days. It was only when I was alone or when something triggered my memory they were brought to my mind. I came to realization that much of my thoughts these past weeks were regarding Renee and my mysterious revelations she presented. The paintings were on one glaring manifesting of a complex nature. I knew I was attracted to her probably for that very reason, along with physically. I wanted her to be around already and not visualize a life without her. Was she what I thought, or was she much more than I could comprehend? Even so, I realized it was uncharted waters regarding Renee, which made it more alluring and enticing. I heard Renee say something about the Eiffel Tower, which brought me back to reality. I asked her to repeat what she just had said. "We go to the top of the Eiffel Tower," she repeated, a little annoyed at my inattention. I took her hand, folded her fingers under mine, and sighed, I never not pay attention to you." Did you go to the top of the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah,
Was there elevators?
walked it.
Was there elevators though?
The elevator worked too,
How long did it take you to walk to the top?
about 20 minutes.
Wow. Was there a restaurant on top?
On the top, yeah, on the top, yeah.
Is that where you ate?
Yeah, big inclusive restaurant, yeah.
What'd you eat? Do you remember what you had?
Are we gonna watch TV now, the news, or what?
How many minutes?
6.
What time is it?
Okay, we can shut up now?
Yeah. All right, we'll pick this up tomorrow, okay?
Okay, we're gonna end this and we'll pick it up tomorrow
Yeah.
on August 4th. End it right now.
What time is it now?